back with another haunting Reddit story. Grab some snacks and join me for what could be the reason you never go to Appalachian mountains ever. I found a bridge that shouldn't exist, and my name was on it. I've been debating posting this for a while now, but after weeks of combing maps, returning to the area, and searching forums with nothing to show for it, I figured I'd turn to you all. I'm an avid backcountry explorer. I love taking old forgotten roads, looking for remnants of abandoned railways, collapsed cabins, and overgrown trails. A few weeks ago, somewhere deep in the mountains of western North Carolina, I found something I can't explain. There was a narrow logging trail I'd never seen before. No signage, no markers. My GPS froze and I lost all cell service, which isn't unusual out here. But the weird part? The path kept going further than it should have. Way further. Eventually, I came upon a rusted, moss-covered bridge, spanning a dried creek bed. Old steel construction, mid-century design maybe. It looked like it hadn't been used in decades. But what got me, what really shook me, were the names. They were etched all over the frame of the bridge. Hundreds of them. Some looked decades old. Others were fresh. At first, I thought it was a memorial or something. But as I walked slowly along the length of the bridge, the names started becoming familiar. My cousin's name, my childhood best friends, a few co-workers. And then, at the very end of the bridge, just barely visible beneath flaking rust and moss, was my name. Full first, middle, and last. Same weird spelling only my mom ever used. I got out of there. Fast. Didn't take a photo. Didn't grab coordinates. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly backed my 4Runner into a tree on the way out. I've gone back 3 times now. Same trails. Same roads. No bridge. Nothing. It's like it was never there. I've heard stories of phantom places showing up in the woods, but I've never experienced anything like this. Has anyone heard of something similar? Bridges with names? Temporary structures? Something tied to Appalachian folklore? I can't get it out of my head. Dude, I live in the Smokies and spend every free weekend bushwhacking old CCC roads. I've never heard of a bridge like that. Names carved in it sounds like some kind of modern-day ledger stone. You said your full name was there? That's Appalachian witchcraft territory. Burn some sage, friend. Not trying to be a jerk, but without pics or coordinates, this is classic missing time lore. Are you sure you didn't stumble across an old hunting camp sign-in board and your adrenaline-fogged brain filled in the rest? Trust me, I wanted to think it was something mundane. The frame was steel I-beams, maybe 40 feet long, 10 feet wide, single lane. Names were etched, not Sharpie or paint. Some were in cursive, some in block letters, like decades of people used pocket knives. My name looked fresh though, clean lines, no rust. Chimney ruins plus dried creek bed plus mid-century logging bridge equals maybe somewhere off Hurricane Ridge? Elevation data shows multiple abandoned skid trails there. PM me if you want a LIDAR overlay. People talk about thin places where reality overlaps. Your bridge sounds like a roster of future visitors. Names get added before they ever arrive. You left, so your name stayed. What if going back scratches it out? OP probably saw graffiti that resembled familiar names. Brain fills gaps when you're freaked. I've mistaken random tags for my own initials while night hiking. Possible, but the spelling of my middle name is exactly Matthew with 1 T. I've never met another person who drops the second T. That's what froze me. In Cherokee legend, bridges can be gateways the Nunnehi use to guide or protect travelers. Sometimes they carve names as promises. If you're on their list, it's either blessing or warning. No in between. Everybody chill. If we crowdsource a basic grid search, pull historic USGS topos, cross-check 1960s forestry roads, we'll narrow it down. Stranger things have been found by Reddit. Appreciate all the theories. I'm heading back out next weekend with a printed 1940 topo and a buddy. I'll update if, when, we find anything, assuming there's a signal to post. Try taking a disposable camera next time. Electronics glitch in liminal spots, but film usually works. If the bridge shows on film but not in digital, you'll have your answer, and maybe your alibi. Totally understand keeping exact coords private, but any chance you can narrow it down to a county or landmark? Trying to see if this lines up with anything in my back road bridge database. Closest I'm willing to say right now is roughly an hour drive north of my hometown, Waynesville, North Carolina. That puts it somewhere past the state line into the higher ridges. Think gravel spurs off the old logging roads that branch north of US 276. I know that's vague, but until I wrap my head around what I saw, and maybe find it again, I'd rather not drop a pin. Hope that helps a little. Update. I thought a week would calm me down. It hasn't. I'm more determined, and honestly, a little desperate to get back to that bridge. Why the rush? Because I keep dreaming about it. Every night since posting, I'm on that same washed-out trail. The trees lean inward like ribs, and I can hear the steel groaning before I even see it. When I get close, the carved names start echoing. My mom's, my best friend's, mine, layered over each other like a broken record. I wake up drenched with the taste of rust in my mouth. New plan. Heading out tomorrow at dawn. 2 buddies dropped out, so it's just me and my cousin Eli. He's ex-search and rescue and thinks this is fun. Gear check. 1944, topo, compass, Garmin. InReach Mini, Nikon FM2 with B&W film, Polaroid 600, graphite and butcher paper for rubbings, bright orange survey tape every 200 feet. Route. North of Waynesville, past the state line, then follow the old skid road that parallels a dry creek. If the topo's right, there's an unnamed spur that dead ends in a hollow, exactly where the bridge felt like it should be. Fail safe. If we don't find it by dusk, we bivy and start again at first light. I'm not leaving until I put hands on that steel. About the creepy photo. Several people tried cleaning it up for me. No luck. The distortion is baked into the file. A few of you pointed out weird shadow shapes in the trusses. I can't unsee them now. Sharing it again below for anyone who missed it, in case fresh eyes spot something new. Final thought before I go. I can't shake the feeling the bridge wants to be found, or wants something from me. The dreams end right before I step onto the deck. Tomorrow I'll finish that step for real. I'll either bring back clear photos and rubbings, or maybe finally sleep in peace. I'll update as soon as we're back in signal. If you don't hear from me by Monday, ping the mods. Eli's got instructions. Wish me luck. I think I'm gonna need it. It's been 120 days and nothing from Backwoods Detective. I ran every abandoned bridge dataset for Haywood, Madison, and Yancey counties. Nothing matches a 35 to 40-foot steel truss left standing after 1978. Either the bridge is paranormal or the story was pure fiction. Not so fast. A 1947 forestry map shows a temporary timber bridge over an unnamed branch 6 miles northwest of Sunburst. It was supposed to be dismantled in '51. Coordinates: 35.4384, negative 82.9947. Could that be it? I hiked to that spot 3 weeks ago. Only stone abutments left. No steel, no planking, nada. Unless the bridge phases in and out, we're barking up the wrong holler. Or OP phased out. Anyone check local papers for missing persons named Eli? He was the cousin who went along. Searched Smoky area sheriff blotters from May-September. No missing Eli matching age 20 to 50. So, at least no official report. Bridge is legit. My buddy's Reconyx cam near Catalucci caught a blurry steel frame in 3 frames at 2:17 a.m. on July 3rd. Then it vanished. Same distortion garbage as OP's pic. Explain that, skeptics. Easy. Motion blur plus spider silk in front of the lens. The frame lines up with the trail gate 15 feet away. Pareidolia strikes again. Spider silk that looks like welded I-beams? Come on. Mods, can we get welfare confirmation? Last activity on OP's account was the update 4 months ago. If this is a hoax, fine. But if it's not, we might be ignoring a real disappearance. We've messaged the account twice. No reply. Reddit can't do a wellness check. If you have concrete info, contact local authorities. Until then, speculation only. I overlaid all user-provided hints on OpenStreetMap plus historical USGS topos. Best hit is a decommissioned spur off FS 479C near the Tennessee border. Trouble is, it terminates at a landslide from '94. No creek bed, no bridge. Data dump here. Anyone in the area? I live 30 minutes from that slide. Hiked in last Saturday, fresh flagging tape. But no bridge, just rotting skid timbers. Tape had BD sharpied on 2 tags, though. Eerie. Remember OP's taste of rust dream detail? That's classic high iron exposure symptom. Could be an abandoned mag mine ventilation shaft nearby giving off fumes and hallucinations. Bridge equals misidentified ore chute. I work industrial hygiene. Elevated feed dust can cause metallic taste, not vivid recurring dreams or time-stamped photo corruption. Nice theory, though. Folks, there are 0 records of a public bridge that size ever existing an hour north of Waynesville. Private logging bridge? Maybe. But the engravings? Explain matching OP's 1T Matthew. Confirmation bias. OP stares at random scratches, brain fills in familiar letters, same way people see Jesus on toast. Toast doesn't add your middle name. Appalachian folk signs do. Look up name ledger bridges in Cherokee oral history. Travelers carve the living so spirits know who to guide. Real talk. If OP shows up with Polaroids, we'll all eat crow. Until then, this sits in r/no-sleep territory for me. Fun read, but I'm not grabbing a machete for a ghost hunt. Has anyone tried enhancing the XIF glitched photo? I ran it through 3 AI restorers. Every output smears the names area into static. Other parts upscale fine. It's like the data itself refuses to resolve. Creeps me out more than if it was a clean fake. 7 long months have crawled by since backwoods detective first burst onto Unsolved Mysteries with the tale of a nameless steel truss bridge that seemed to appear and vanish deep in the Blue Ridge. The post rockets to the front page, spawning map overlays, FOIA requests, and late-night Discord hunts. OP's single distorted photo surfaces, followed by his "I'm going back" plan. He and cousin Eli leave at dawn, and the subreddit goes silent. Nothing. The comment section turns into a cold case war room. LiDAR dumps versus folklore citations, missing person theories versus pareidolia takedowns. Mods ping the account twice, no reply. A new post from the dormant account hits the queue before mods can lock it. The title simply reads, "I found it again and something found us." Update. I found it again, and I wish I hadn't. I don't have much time and my hands won't stop shaking, so this will be messy. We did find the bridge, or maybe it found us. 1. How we got there. Eli and I followed the 1944 topo past the landslide people kept mentioning. The creek was bone dry, but at 3:17 a.m. our inReach pinged a phantom elevation dip, like the earth suddenly dropped 20 feet. That's when the fog rolled in, and the timberline opened onto the bridge exactly where the map shows nothing. 2. The names have multiplied. Every square inch of steel is carved now, layer on layer, fresh curls of metal on top of ancient rust. Names I've never heard and names I love. My mom's birth name. Eli's, twice. One spelled right, one wrong. The wrong one was still bleeding bright orange flakes, as if the cut was seconds old. 3. The impossible sound. When Eli ran his fingers across the carvings, the whole span groaned, but the creek below is dry. The sound came from inside the truss, like something hollow waking up. 4. The photo proof. I snapped 3 Polaroids, all developed jet black except the last. A perfect shot of the bridge, but our shadows are missing. Only the bridge, and thousands of tiny, brilliant white lines where the names should be. 5. Something took Eli. He stepped onto the deck, made it halfway, and froze. He said, "It wrote me again." Then the air around him rippled, like heat off asphalt, and he was gone. No splash, no scream, just empty planks and his headlamp spinning on the boards. 6. I'm leaving a marker. I carved one word into the railing, "Unfound," and the groaning stopped. The fog cleared enough for me to sprint back to the tree line. My compass needle still loops like mad. I think the bridge let me go because it already has me in another way. I'm hiking until daylight, then heading straight to the ranger station. If you don't see another post from me, show the rangers the Polaroid below and tell them to look for the word "Unfound," carved head high on a steel rail about an hour north of Waynesville. The thread locked itself when auto-moderation flagged possible self-harm or missing person content, but not before 400 users caught a glimpse. Mods say they're coordinating with local authorities. No one, as of yet, has heard from Eli or OP since the post went live. Possible missing 411 case: explorer vanishes after finding name-etched phantom bridge in North Carolina mountains. Hey everyone, I normally just lurk here, but a story on our Unsolved Mysteries has turned into something that checks a lot of missing 411 boxes. I figured it belongs in the archive here in case searchers or researchers want to dig deeper. Quick timeline. February. User Backwoods detective posts about stumbling on an old steel truss bridge deep in the Blue Ridge where no bridge is mapped. GPS died, cell signal gone. Bridge covered in hundreds of carved names. Friends, family, finally his own. March. He promises a return trip, brings cousin Eli. Posts a single distorted photo that looks half corrupted. XIF date spits out 1970. April, June. Radio silence. Sub keeps debating whether he hoaxed or vanished. July, early this morning. Account reactivates with an emergency update titled, "I found it again and something found us." He claims they reached the bridge at 3 a.m. Fog rolled in, names had multiplied, and Eli disappeared mid-span without a sound. OP fled, leaving the word "unfound" carved in the rail. Posts one Polaroid, bridge crystal clear, but their shadows are missing. Nothing since. Mods say authorities have been alerted, no confirmation either way. Coordinates and search info. OP would only say about an hour north of Waynesville, NC, on an abandoned Forest Service spur off US 276. One commenter traced a decommissioned road near 35.4384 minus 82.9947, but hikers found only stone abutments there. If you're SAR or local LEO, that spot and the landslide on FS 479C have both been floated. Why post here? If Eli is missing, this community's catalog of patterns could help SAR prep. The bridge itself acts almost like a structure of enticement. That weird personal lure reminds me of cases where kids say they heard their name in the woods before vanishing. Tech malfunctions plus twisted timestamps feel straight out of the Sierra or Yosemite clusters. Open questions. Has any ranger station in Pisgah or Cherokee National Forest logged an unofficial steel bridge where none is mapped? Any folklorists recognize name ledger bridges in Cherokee or Appalachian lore? Anyone with Polaroid restoration chops willing to enhance the attached shot to look for topographical clues? Stay safe out there, and if you head into that stretch of mountain, maybe keep your distance from any bridges that shouldn't exist. I'll update if law enforcement confirms a search, or if Backwoods detective resurfaces. The name ledger thing gave me chills. In Cherokee lore, inscribing a living person's name on sacred timber could bind their spirit to a place. A bridge would be doubly potent. Literal crossing between worlds. I've worked Western North Carolina searches for 12 years. Bridges over dry creek beds are crazy common, but unmapped steel spans are not. My gut says private logging crew built it in the 40s, abandoned, then flood debris hit it. Fog plus fatigue, plus optical illusion. Fatigue doesn't erase a 30-foot steel truss from GIS though, and why would the names keep updating? Bridges ledger greater than abandoned logging hardware. Could this be a cave-in sinkhole? Phantom elevation dip, compass spin, sudden fog, sounds like moist warm air venting from underground. Maybe the bridge is a ventilation grate that looks like a bridge at night. But that still doesn't explain Eli's silent disappearance or the missing shadows in the Polaroid. Underground wind? Sure. Shadow-eating photo? Not so much. There's a DARPA project called Lauren Resurrection, reactivating low-frequency navigation emitters in Appalachia. Strong LF pulses can fry consumer GPS and mess with digital cameras. Maybe OP wandered into a test zone. LF can garble GPS timestamps and distort JPEG headers, but it won't delete people off Polaroid film. Analog chemistry doesn't care about radio waves. My out-there theory: inhaled Ophiocordyceps spores. The fungus can induce auditory hallucinations in rodents. Foggy creek beds with deadfall are prime spore traps. You see names, hear groans, buddy panics and bolts. Simple trip accident into ravine. LSD-like afterimage would kill shadows on Polaroid. Creative, but cordyceps isn't airborne in mammals, and it won't hack EXIF metadata. We need Occam, not Last of Us. Missing persons. Tie-in. Just found a bulletin on Namus for Eli C. Miller, 29. Last seen July 13th near Waynesville, North Carolina. Departed before dawn on an off-road excursion with cousin. Presumed destination Pisgah National Forest. That matches OP's timeline and cousin's name. Case number MP112780. Wow, linking it here for transparency. Bulletin filed by Miller's mother August 2nd. Status still active, so authorities are treating Eli missing. Local deputy here. Sheriff's Department did 2 hasty searches along FS 479C and Sunburst Branch. No physical bridge, but they did find fresh survey tape marked BDSAR incident report, tagged it unresolved, ongoing. I ran OP's Polaroid through photogrammetry. Those missing shadows line up with where the names clustered densest, almost like the etchings glowed on the negative and burned their silhouettes out. Never seen anything like it. Pattern fit, late-night solo explorers, sudden fog, name connection, compasses dead. This could be the start of a new Blue Ridge cluster. Somebody map last known points around Waynesville, Hot Springs, Asheville, and overlay missing cases 2,000 to present. If Namus has Eli on file, then OP's silence is really concerning. Either he's next, or he can't post. Police report might break FOIA blackout in 30 days, worth tracking. Mod note: the Namus link has been verified. Please do not dox private phone numbers. Keep speculation civil, and remember, Missing 411 is a discussion sub, not a vigilante forum. If you have first-hand info, contact Haywood County Sheriff's Office. Case reference number 2025-3511. The debate rages on. Half the thread is combing topo layers for phantom roads. The other half is parsing folklore for ledger bridges. But with Eli Miller now officially missing, and OP off the grid, the mystery just stepped out of Reddit lore and into real-world search files. I found the same vanishing bridge north of Waynesville, and it knew my name too. So, I might be the next idiot to poke the hornet's nest. Some of you saw me in the original thread months back. I'm the local who hiked to the landslide off FS 479C and found the survey tape marked BD. Curiosity finally chewed a hole in my brain, so yesterday I packed a day bag, grabbed my old Pentax K1000, and headed out alone. Yes, dumb, but try telling my curiosity that. How I got there. Parked at the same washout by Sunburst Branch, boots on trail 0540. Followed the dry creek until compass started spinning. Altimeter dropped approximately 20 feet in a single step. Exact spot OP mentioned. Fog rolled in exactly at 6:13, thick as cotton. Took 2 more turns and there it was. The bridge. Steel truss, 1 lane, maybe 38 feet long. Looks like it was welded together yesterday and abandoned 50 years ago, impossibly fresh and ancient at the same time. Wooden planks creaked but held. The names, hundreds, layered like fish scales. Some carved deep, some shallow. I spotted my granddad's full name. He passed in '09. My mechanic's nickname, and, dead center on a vertical brace, my own. William R. Walters in neat block letters. I've never carved my full name on anything in my life. The sound. When I brushed my fingers over the carving, the whole span let out that metallic groan OP described, but the creek bed is bone dry. Sound felt like it came from under my ribs. Photos? I shot an entire roll of Tri-X. Every frame clicked fine. When I rewound and opened the back, the film leader had advanced, but the canister was empty, like the bridge ate the film, the vanish. I heard what I thought was a voice. Low, almost polite. Say, "One more step." Not in my head. Out loud. I bolted. Fog swallowed the bridge behind me. 5 minutes later. Clear sky. Birds, no steel in sight. Compass steady again. Proof I still have. I kept the survey tape OP left behind last spring. It's now cut clean through. Edge looks melted, not torn. No idea when that happened. Why I'm posting. Eli Miller is still listed missing on Namus. Something awful might live at that spot. Anyone planning a hero hike? Don't go alone. The bridge wants company. Mods, I'm willing to hand off the cut tape and my empty film canister if real investigators want them. I'll answer questions while I can. But if this thing starts showing up in my dreams, I'm torching my boots and moving to Kansas. Stay out of the fog, folks. That bridge keeps score. That empty canister detail is bonkers. Film leaders don't advance without film unless the spool's torn clean off. Something pulled the roll forward, or you got time skipped. Any chance the fog humidity rusted the sprockets and shredded it? The take-up spool was spotless. No shreds, no crimp marks, just an empty core. I've shot that Pentax since college, never seen a ghost roll. Pro Photo G here. Only way to lose an entire 36 exposure roll without residue is if the leader never latched, or if the film dissolved. Tri-X doesn't dissolve in 20 minutes of mountain fog. OP number 2 confirms the compass spin plus name carvings, starting to smell like a Blue Ridge Skinwalker hotspot. Anyone got Cherokee lore on name bridges? Reposting from last thread. Some Nunnehi legends tell of spirit crossings, where travelers leave their names so guides can find them in the afterlife. But stealing living names? That's pure Appalachian witch hex territory. Let's stay grounded. 2 anonymous Redditors tell the same campfire story is not paranormal proof. Bill, grab a differential GPS unit next trip and record latitude and longitude every 10 seconds. If your track has a gap, we'll have data. I can loan my Trimble R2 if OP's serious. Sub-meter accuracy, even under canopy. Mods, can we set up a chain of custody? SAR note, fog plus early morning plus unstable creek banks means hidden sinkholes. People vanish fast in karst terrain. Eli could have dropped into a vertical fissure masked by leaf litter. Bridge might be a hallucination triggered by CO2 pooling. CO2 pockets dense enough to cause audio hallucinations would kill you in minutes. Bill's still typing, so nope. Confirmed. Eli C. Miller file, MP 112780, updated yesterday to evidence received in lab. No description of what evidence. Could be Bill's survey tape? We can't verify lab submissions. Please stop contacting the case manager. Let the investigators work. Bill, scan that melted tape edge at 1200 dots per inch. If the cut shows microstriations, it's mechanical. If the polymer's globbed, it's heat. Might match whatever corrupted BD's Polaroid. 2 hikers see spooky graffiti, panic, and invent supernatural camera failure. Film missing? Probably never loaded. Compass spin points, cheap liquid-filled capsule in 40 degrees Fahrenheit fog. Names looked familiar because humans pattern match. Explain the melted survey tape then. And both hikers having the same hallucination months apart. Still no word from the original OP. If Bill made it out, why hasn't BD? Somebody search creek beds for fresh carvings of UNFOUND. Mapping update. Overlaying Bill's altimeter dip with last known BD ping gives a 400-meter radius in a gorge south of Cold Mountain. 4 unmapped timber spurs intersect there. We need a LiDAR flyover. Folks keep calling it Name Ledger. How about Roll Call Bridge? Because it sure feels like something's taking attendance. Final pre-search update. I hate that I'm typing this, but the dreams won't quit and they're starting to make sense. What the dreams show. Every night since my bridge encounter, I'm back on the span, but I'm not alone. A figure made of rust flakes stands at the midpoint and rasps a single sentence. Only a named one may leave. Then 2 paths flash in my head like pages of a manual. Lead another named soul onto the bridge. The carvings judge them. If the bridge accepts the newcomer, I get to walk away. Return alone and step onto the deck myself. Become the offering. No clue what happens next, but the rust figure stops chasing me in the dream, and the screaming finally ends. I'm not dragging an innocent person into this nightmare. So option 2 it is. The plan. Date, time, tomorrow, 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Gear. Trimble R2 differential GPS. Thanks, U/geotag please. Logging at 1 second interval. Garmin InReach Mini set to auto-ping every 2 minutes. 35mm film and digital body. If the bridge eats one, maybe not the other. 100 feet of high-vis climbing rope, tying one end to a tree at creek edge. Fluorescent survey tape spelling Bill went at trailhead. Procedure. Walk straight to the altitude dip that triggered compass spin. Start a new waypoint log on the Trimble. Hit OK on the InReach preset. On bridge. Do not follow unless signal stops for 30 minutes. Step onto the span. Stay 60 seconds. photograph carvings, and my own name. If nothing happens, retreat. If bridge reacts, rope should show tug direction for SAR. If you're reading this after 7 a.m. EDT tomorrow, download my Trimble file from the shared InReach link the mods have archived. If the track ends on top of a dry creek with no bridge visible, call Haywood County Sheriff, case number 2025-3511, Eli Miller, and tell them second subject pinned coordinates, possible vertical disappearance. I'm leaving my truck keys and phone with a friend in Waynesville. No one else gets pulled in. Wish me luck, or a clean exit. I'll post once I'm back in Signal, assuming there's a me to post. If the bridge wants a name, it's getting mine. I monitored Bill's shared Trimble feed at 5:07, got 3 simultaneous pings. 35.4132, 82.9869, 35.4384, 82.9947, 35.4270, 83.0121. All exactly 40 feet elevation apart. Feed went dead 90 seconds later. Differential GPS shouldn't clone itself, ever. Same here. I overlaid the 3 points. Makes a near-perfect triangle around Cold Mountain. Each side approximately 1.66 kilometers. No trails at any vertex. How does one tracker show up in 3 places at once and then vanish? That triangle sounds like classic multipath error, except Trimble R2 corrects multipath in real time. Something spoofed the SATs, or the tracker was in 3 spots. Just got word from Haywood County. William R. Walters added to NamUs tonight. Case number MP113044. Last contact 459. Same sheriff handling Eli Miller. 2 missing hikers tied to 1 invisible bridge now. Record lists multiple simultaneous GPS endpoints under circumstances. Never seen that field used before. Folks, Bill's InReach SOS pinged 2, then duplicated with different timestamps, 0511 and 0514. County Dispatch got both, same device ID, 2 miles apart. Dispatch thought it was a glitch until the signal went dark. I doubted the bridge, but a Trimble spoof and a split SOS? That's tech I can't handwave. Either someone staged an elaborate hoax with RF spoofers, or we've left normal cartography. Pulled Bill's last photo upload from the auto backup cache. Just static and a faint word across the center. Unfound in white streaks. Same word BD carved months ago. 2 named ones gone. Ledger is full. Bridge keeps score. Next step in folklore would be a closing of the crossing. Or it starts calling new names. Hoax or not, we now have 2 real missing person files. Mods, time to lock location talk and let SAR handle it. Mod note, both Eli Miller, MP112780, and William Walters, MP113044, are active cases. No coordinates, no search party organizing, no doxing. Updates allowed only from verified authorities or immediate family. And so the ledger grows. 2 hikers, 3 ghost coordinates, 0 answers. The bridge, wherever it rests tonight, remains unfound.